Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the good intentions you hung me on. Still there's a feeling like all the things we left undone became the things I'm running from. Oh, don't get me wrong.
I believe in for 6, hold for 7, out for 8. I was always taught that everyone in this world has specific individual problems that are personal to each person's life and surroundings. Now, while some of our problems may be similar, no human can confidently say that they know what someone is going through. Because of this, I've always been very respectful of other problems, giving my help where needed, or just being there for emotional support. Although I was respecting of others' struggles, I can't say I was very respectful of my own struggles, or my own body, or my own mental health. I gave away all the help I needed to others and was left waiting for someone to do the same. While some people did, most didn't. You see, my issue started very young, about first grade to be exact. I was a relatively good kid, I got great grades, and I was very polite, but friends were hard to come by. Soon I began having emotional blackouts. I never remembered them, I was always told about them later. I would throw chairs, desks, scream, kick, just be a little turd until my parents got there. These episodes happened so often that the teachers just stopped going through the office. My dad's cell phone was called from the teacher's cell phone, and he'd come around back just to talk to me. We all listen to music from the day we're born, but as I grew up, I started to appreciate more music that I was listening to. I started to listen to it therapeutically, to heal and to escape the friendless, cold world I was growing up in. Sports had never been kind to me, or my asthma, or my tall and lanky build. Middle school was just around the corner, and if it was anything like I had heard it was, or anything like the bullying that I had experienced in grade school, I wanted nothing to do with it. Sure enough, the bullying, the teachers, the outbursts, all the same. I grew violent, something that I never was. As these new versions of Arthur emerged, I started pursuing music a little more seriously. I loved the drums. Since I was a baby, I was banging on car dashboards and high chairs, in rhythm. 9 times out of 10, I was at least semi-in beat with the music I was listening to. To be fair, Disney hit CDs aren't very metal and not that hard to drum to. But as soon as I got my drum kit and joined band at middle school, I was met with resistance, yet again, but this time by the teacher and me. Along with the other students, I butted heads with him quite a lot, which inhibited my playtime. I will admit that I wasn't the most cooperative kid, and I did cause a lot of hassle, but I was there for the music, to play drums. So I got through it. I could have just thrown in the towel, given up on myself, like I always do, and walked away from the teacher, the drum set, and revert back to my old music-listening Arthur. Or I could fight, just like I was fighting myself for my own emotional stability. I could fight for my own musicality, and I fought. All these incidences were labeled as administrators, teachers, even my parents, as behavioral outbursts that would soon go away once I got friends and matured. Unfortunately, friends still didn't come around a lot, and if they did, it wasn't for more than a month or two. I did say I was a little turd, but every child deserves at least one friend, and every kid should get the same push for friends. Soon I was in high school, freshman year. I started seeing counselors in and out of school. About the next year, they diagnosed me with general anxiety disorder with depressive symptoms, and they began the medication. After months upon months upon months of changing medication, we still weren't making any significant progress. It wasn't until the end of my junior year and the beginning of my senior year that they diagnosed me with bipolar disorder. Things started to make sense now. Couldn't control my attitude, no levels, it all added up to this. Since the change of the diagnosis, I've come leaps and bounds from the dark place I called home for so many years. But without my marching band and music, I need to express that things would be very different in my life. My dad has consistently played music for me in every genre possible and also been supportive enough to buy me a beautiful drum kit and multiple guitars and basses. My senior year, I was awarded one of the most important things to me in my life, drum major of the Corning Cardinal Marching Band. Leading the band has shown me strength, courage, responsibility, and more than anything, self-control. At this point, I'd like to give my warmest, most appreciative thank you to Mr. Stephen Mitchell, without whom I would not be pushing through this debris of emotions, and without whom I wouldn't have seen music as what I see to it today. You helped me realize that music was my therapy, not just a hobby. Thank you. Now to finally address the title of this piece. Over the summer, I attended USA Drum Major Camp at Sacramento State and was under the instruction of a very, very knowledgeable and kind instructor by the name of Matt Hollywood Beach. During my stay there, my anxiety got the best of me. I was doubting myself, my ability, my musicality, and my own emotions. I found Matt and immediately told him what was going on. He dove into helping me, and help me he did. He started telling me of his pre-performance anxieties and his own routines that he thought of to help fight any anxious moment. I had a parade evaluation, and I was throwing up and shaking like I was climbing the Alps. He said 3 simple phrases: in for 6, hold for 7, out for 8. I just kind of stood there, not knowing what he just said. He repeated it again. I didn't think holding my breath for a certain amount of time would in any way ease my stress, but I had trusted him up until this point, so I decided to try it again. And by God, it worked. My hands calmed, my stomach subsided, and I had enough time to finish my routine. This simple technique, a simple way of breathing, solved my problems on the spot. Since then, I've used it countless times in parades, performances, fights with my parents, and just plain hard times in my room. I implore you to try it. My struggle isn't a new one by any means, and I'm in no way claiming to be the only person to struggle with bipolarism. My fear of judgment almost kept me from writing this paper. The fear that my peers would think different of me. My fear of losing everyone that I'd worked so hard to get to be my friend over something that I couldn't change. But it is in my firm belief that we never truly understand each other's problems, only know of them. While I may struggle with the same thing you do, I have no idea what your internal thoughts are. So for what it's worth, I'm content with the teachers, the students, the faculty, and the community that I have done as much as I can to infect my love of music and serve as proud as I can, knowing what I've dealt with these 4 years. I am strong, and I have many, many, many people to thank you for reminding me of such. But Matt Beach, Stephen Mitchell, and my lovely, wonderful mom and dad are who truly reminded me of my strength. In for 6, hold for 7, out for 8. This I believe.